Jagdeep Dhankhar is the next Vice President of India, and he's managed to secure, just putting the numbers out, Jagdeep Dhankhar has secured about 73% of the votes, 72.8% of the votes. Margaret Alva, the opposition's candidate, just about 25% of the votes. And he's won by a larger margin than he expected. 528, expected about 500 to 510, managed to win about 528. Margaret Alva expected about 200, 215, just managed to win 180. She fell short of 200. And there are many breaking news updates that are coming in right now about the cross-voting, the abstentions, and the interesting voting patterns that tell you one story. And that story is that the opposition is severely divided. Let me go across and introduce our panelists this evening. Tom Vadakkan, senior leader, spokesperson of the BJP. Manish Bariyar, leader of the JDU. Kovai Satyan, spokesman of the AIADMK, will be joining us. S. Sriram, political analyst, will be joining us live from Chennai, not with us yet. Kapil Madan, advocate, political analyst, with us. Tausif Ahmad Khan, advocate and political analyst, live from Kolkata this evening. Abbas Haider, a national spokesperson of the SP Samajwadi Party, live with us from Lucknow. And Ravi Srivastava, political analyst, live from Mumbai, complete the panel this evening. Okay, let me start with Tom Vadakkan. Tom Vadakkan, you can take the first question, and maybe Kapil Madan can come in. Tom, it's a bigger win than anticipated for Jagdeep Dhankhar. And what are the lessons that you think the opposition should take from this election after the victory of the president?
Well, Niranjan, for the layman, it is clear that there is huge division in the opposition vote. But my sources tell me that even the Congress party, she was a member of the Congress party, they was lukewarm to her campaign. Well, why and how many people know about it, I don't want to go on this day on why it happened, how it happened. But yes, Congress party, I can say with confidence, was extremely lukewarm towards the campaign. That is one. And I think it is a victory, it's a day of celebration. It's a son of a farmer, the second highest post in this country. And he is an eminent judicial situation in West Bengal, very tense indeed. But yes, he has left his mark as an administrator, and I think it's an extremely good choice. And I think he will be a very good chairman for the Rajya Sabha. There are the challenges of the vice president, where he might deal with all parties across, maintain discipline.
Yeah.
And ensure that all parties have their voice and there's no complaints about it. I'm sure he's the best man for the job.
Yeah, I have some breaking news update coming in, and this is important because, Margaret Alva also got a lot of support from, for example, the Uddhav Thackeray faction was supposed to back her. We were told NCP and Congress, of course. But I have some breaking news updates. Let me give you the breaking news updates right now. I'm getting in breaking news updates, and you'll be interested to know Kapil Madan, 6 MPs from the Uddhav camp, and that's the breaking news update. I'll put that on the screen as well. 6 MPs from the Uddhav camp did not participate in the vice presidential elections. So it's not just the Trinamool Congress. The first breaking news update coming in of possible cross-voting or interesting patterns. Kapil Madan, 6 MPs from the Uddhav camp who often back you on Twitter have not voted for Alva when it mattered the most. So, you've been sort of let down. And this is after, and what's even worse, this is after they told you in public that they would be supporting Margaret Alva. They did not cast their votes. Kapil Madan, you've been stabbed.
Yeah. So, Niranjan, one thing, I would like to state very categorically, the opposition could have, done a better job. They could have, come together in a more united manner. And we saw Trinamool Congress initially declared that they will not be voting in this election. And I think these kind of absenteeism will, of course, dent the opposition, the morale of the opposition. Every party, each and every party who is ideologically opposed to the BJP, I think this is the time where they should forget their individual differences and they should come together for the larger cause, and that should be to uproot the ideology of the BJP that they are opposing. And let me also tell you one more interesting thing. In fact, the similar debate happened when president elections results were announced. And in fact, the data suggests that the opposition candidate got the maximum number of vote ever of the opposition candidate would have got. So I think, yes, opposition could have done a better job. There is absolutely no denying. And insofar as your allegation qua the Shiv Sena is concerned, we know, and it is absolutely very, very vivid how the central agencies are being misused, how EDs are being misused. Of course, of course. No.
This is fantastic.
You may laugh.
Everything.
Niranjan, you may laugh.
I just found it interesting. I mean, it's a free country. You can say what you want.
If it rains in Delhi, it's ED.
What else will you blame the ED for? Why don't you ask the Trinamool Congress? Trinamool Congress also, agreed to abstain because of ED. Ask Tausif. You need a reality check. Kapil Madan, you need a reality check. No, you ask Tausif.
Can you rule out intimidation by ED?
No. See, ED can't be your go-to answer for every time there is a setback. You ask Tausif. I'm going to Tausif on the comment that you made about the Trinamool Congress. Tausif, why did the Trinamool Congress decide to abstain in this vote?
No, Trinamool Congress had already publicly announced more than a week ago, about 10 days ago, that they would be abstaining from this vice president election process. Trinamool did support the opposition's presidential candidate. And since the vice president's candidature was announced without consulting Trinamool party, and it was simply like an intimation rather than consultation, therefore, in protest, Trinamool Congress decided not to participate in the vice president election, because in a democratic forum, if opposition is talking about walking shoulder to shoulder, then it is expected from the Congress that every party would receive a equal treatment.
Absolutely.
And every party, considering the regardless of the number of MPs they have, and when it comes to Trinamool, it has the second largest number of MPs, so that it is expected that each party would be consulted rather than just informed in the last minute.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
For that reason only.
Kapil Madan, are you hearing what Tausif said? You're hearing? See this.
Yes.
Kapil Madan. I'll put Kapil Madan on the bottom right, and Kapil Madan, you'll realize that this opposition unity card that you guys play is often a charade, because you want always to be the leader even when there are times when you don't deserve to be, is what Tausif indicated. I didn't say that, but he said that you don't treat everybody the same. You pretend like you want everybody to be on the same page, but they really aren't. Manish Baryar is joining us. He's from the JDU. See, it's very interesting because Nitish Kumar may not be attending the NITI Aayog meeting. We are told for different reasons. Things are not exactly smooth sailing. But Manish, even you will know that the opposition is extremely divided, isn't it? They never really stood a chance.
Absolutely. In fact, there are two things. I will just like to comment on Nitish Kumar's absence. There's always been a difference in opinion about how NITI Aayog has there is a feeling here in Bihar that it unfairly puts it at the bottom of the pyramid when it comes to their ranking. And our party has always challenged the basis on which NITI Aayog has been able to do that. So I think it's just because of that, he always finds himself absent from NITI Aayog, more as a token kind of a protest of the kind of ranking.
So you're confirming it's a protest. Okay, can I break it that you're officially saying that it's going to be protesting?
Please don't break it that
because
way,
we were told it's COVID.
It is a very well-known fact.
Because we were told it's COVID.
The party has been in record. Last meeting was because of COVID. This was more because of the fact that, we have not agreed as a party. That's our official stand, that the party doesn't agree the way NITI Aayog has been ranking the different states and on the parameters. I think that, the spokesperson of earlier also, and even the national president has always talked about the fact that it's something which is unfair to Bihar. So that was one point. The second is that actually opposition is fragmented. There's no doubt over it. We all understand. And the reason is that each one of them right now, they are in a hot soup because of different reasons. Right. And because of that, there is no one single narrative which an opposition can bring in. I don't see also, every opposition party has a different set of problems. And I don't see one topic on which they can unite, because then it
Yeah.
starts competing with their own interest within the state. So I think what we see right now in Indian politics is not one pan nation opposition party as such, which earlier Congress used to be there. But now we see number of regional satraps holding fort against BJP, and it is not possible that way to really come up with an opposition. So I don't see that happening until unless there is a clear-cut one leader who can really command the respect of the entire opposition space. So till that time, I think opposition unity is going to be a pipe dream.
Yeah, Ravi Srivastava, you want to respond to that? What are the takeaways for the opposition, Ravi Srivastava? They tried. Should they have been
I think
yeah.
I think as far as this vice president election was concerned, it was more or less a fixed match kind of a thing, because opposition knew very well that the kind of majority BJP has got and the people who are supporting. I'm more surprised on the support of a party called Biju Janata Dal, which is in opposition, which is not a part of NDA even, but they are always supported in the presidential election as well as the vice presidential election. YSRCP, your TDP, your Akali Dal, your some of these Shinde group, Shiv Sena, they all have supported the NDA for that matter. And sailing was very smooth as far as Mr. Jagdeep Dhankhar is concerned. But what I say is that this should not be a benchmark for the opposition unity for that matter, because there cannot be a single cause. This is a nation of diversity. This is a nation has got all kind of problems arising in all parts of the states. So, having opposition on a single platform for any cause, it's extremely difficult. Although Congress is giving a good fight, at least the 17 parties have given a letter to the Lok Sabha Speaker on that issue of misuse of the ED and the CBI and income tax and all. They have jointly given that letter. So opposition does come on the same platform, but I think it all have got their own problems in their own states, and it is very difficult to come on a common platform. And this is for that matter.
Yeah.
Can I comment?
The person who has
my problem, I'm really sorry. My problem with opposition is not that because BJP was winning or NDA was winning, that they did not. My problem was the way opposition is fighting. It's not giving a fight. I don't think losing or winning is a part and parcel of the game, but I don't see that tenacity, that will to really come together and really give a good fight. These are good times for making a very symbolic messaging to the entire country. It's not about only being a vice presidential election. It's also about to your electorate, to the message to the entire country which you want to give. And these are opportunities. You can take brownie points during these times. What I find unfortunate in that way is that I don't see any kind of a leadership where they can really talk to the people of the country, utilizing these important constitutional appointments to make their point and force the point strongly and forcefully. That is where I call, I look at opposition from the point of view of that, no, you're not doing it enough. It's not about winning and losing.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get in. Kovai Satyan. Kovai Satyan is from the AIDMK. You have your own differences with the NDA, but what makes you vote for or stand with the NDA on critical issues, Kovai? And where do you think the opposition is getting it wrong? Do you think they're busy finding a leader amongst themselves and failing?
Yeah, on behalf of my party leader, Head Party, Palani ji, and party, we extend our congratulations, heartiest congratulations to Dhankhar ji as the new VP of India. It's a clear message is clear. The opposition, UPA, has got their priorities and strategies wrong at another time. And the message to the people is clear. The time for appeasement is over, and it's the nation first and the citizens first. And there is no dynasty, and there is no elevation of one particular person who has got his self-interest better than the interest of the people of this nation. We have differences with BJP, not with respect to the development workers. There might be few ideological differences, but that is not coming to the picture when it comes to people and it comes to nation, we stand united. That's where the message is loud and clear. We have our priorities for the welfare of the people. That's why we are an ally with BJP. That's why we are an ally with NDA. And it is time again, it's proven that our thought process and their thought process are the same, which has been accepted by people at large. And today, UPA is look like a rotten apple because of their misplaced priority, because of their strategies, wrong strategies, because of their appeasement at the wrong time and the wrong place with the wrong message. It's loud and clear.
Yeah. Sriram, you want to come in on that? I'll get Sriram and Abbas. Sriram. Sriram, what's really going on? You know, they shouldn't have fielded candidates in the first place. See, in the case of Yashwant Sinha, seemed like almost it was a bitter sort of a move. I mean, even in the case of Margaret Alva, very forced. What's the message for 2024? You think this is clearly giving you a message that it is advantage NDA for 2024? Is that you know, the one of the takeaways perhaps? Sriram, and then I'll get Abbas either.
Yeah. First of all, let me my hearty congratulations to the Vice President-elect. Obviously, the biggest takeaway for the opposition is you can't have your personal agendas, you can't have your own hunger for power. You are not a birthright for you to be the Prime Minister, or you need to become you need to rule the country. So obviously, these are the takeaways, that they better have a common agenda, they have constructive opposition, and they put the people in front of them than their own hatred towards Mr. Narendra Modi or the NDA for that matter. So this is a clear, classic case of a fractured opposition. And you can't fight for the sake of fighting. Certain things in the country is in the pride of the nation, that you come as a nation together and not to keep fighting in every which way and sending your message, and you're exposing yourself in front of people.
Yeah. Abbas?
Am I here?
Yeah, we can hear you. But Abbas, I want to ask Abbas. Abbas, who did your party eventually vote for? And I'm guessing it's Margaret Alva, but you know it was going to be the losing vote, isn't it?
See, Niranjan, this is the beauty of our democracy. We fight election on different issues, despite knowing the fact that the electoral college which elect the vice president consists of the member of parliament from both the houses, and BJP has more than 60% votes there. But we fought this election and we fought it well. Now the vice president has been elected, and the vice president is a non-partisan post. The vice president elect, I want to congratulate him, and I'm very optimistic that the vice president will uphold his constitutional duties as the chairman of the Rajya Sabha as well as the chancellor of the central universities, and he'll give more space to the opposition parties in the Rajya Sabha. So this is not about now. The election is over, the result is out. So it's about a collective responsibility of the opposition and the ruling party, that they should come forward and contribute towards the nation building.
Yeah, you've said the right words. I mean, you're being very diplomatic. But I'm asking you about this opposition unity. Opposition unity wasn't there during the UP elections. Opposition unity wasn't there during the elections for the president. Even now for the vice presidential elections, it's not there. It doesn't exist.
4 members in the... See, out of current 777 votes in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, we had 7 votes. So we have voted for the opposition candidate. We were part of the opposition. We're still part of the opposition. But now we are out of the election, and the vice president elect is a non-partisan position, and he may be a ruling party candidate or a opposition candidate. But now he's not a ruling party candidate. Now he's not a member of any political party. He's the vice president of this country, vice president elect to be precise. So now let's talk about how the constitutional duties of vice president are being carried out, how the function of the Rajya Sabha is being carried out. So let's talk about that. I think that would be more constructive instead of talking what has happened in the past. And
no, because I'll tell you, because it was Margaret Alva last I checked, and by the way, the Prime Minister has just tweeted, I'm going to put the tweet out full frame. Let's just tell you the Prime Minister in his tweet, I'm just going to go across to that tweet. He said, congratulations to Sri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji on being elected as India's Vice President with resounding support across party lines. I'm confident he will be an outstanding Vice President. our nation will gain tremendously from his intellect and freedom. And let me tell you, Jairam Ramesh has also just tweeted, by the way, the Congress party. He says, I have known Jagdeep Dhankhar for many years, and last year he presided over an online function on my book on the Buddha. I hope he will display the sagacity and objectivity of Bhairo Singh Shekhawat and the wit and humor of Venkaiah Naidu, his partyman who became vice president. And President Murmu has also just tweeted, by the way, congratulations. Okay, that was another tweet. Ravi Shankar Prasad has tweeted saying congratulations to Jagdeep Dhankhar. Margaret Alva, by the way, tweeted some time back, and she indicated that this was perhaps a chance for the opposition to come together, but they did not. You see, what's happening is the Congress party expected that with somebody like Margaret Alva, people would come together, but that clearly hasn't happened. That hasn't happened. There have been so many opportunities in the past, but at each point, for some reason, it's fallen apart. Right? Tom, you can take that, and I'll let Kapil Badhan come in.
See,
perhaps Congress can't be the glue. It can never be the glue. I think if there's one reason, or if there's one takeaway, that takeaway is Congress cannot and will not be the glue. Right, Tom?
Well, Congress is, the Gandhis are the glue for the Congress, but Congress cannot be the glue for opposition unity. That is the stark reality. But I am very happy that all the panelists have said, well, now we will act like, like representing all parties and their interests. But I beg to submit, if this kind of favorable opinions were expressed before the election, this would be a country where we would have a consensus president, and it would be an ideal situation. Why all this friction? This is about this country, this is about the vice president, who is no more a member of any political party. All parties could come together. Instead, you create an artificial tension. This is not the kind of tension our country needs. Create a situation where two individuals are fighting. Yes, it's democratic, elections are held. But when you express your view that, well, now this belongs to the country, I beg to differ with that, in the sense that if you had that opinion, you would have all come to consensus, and we would have a vice president who is elected by the whole country. And you know what kind of a difference that would make? It would be history in this country if we had a situation like that.
But she's really slammed the opposition. In fact, I'm getting in some more details of what Margaret Alva has said. For some reason, I missed this out. But she has said, she has actually slammed these parties who directly or indirectly supported the BJP. And she said, unfortunately, some parties chose to directly or indirectly support the BJP in an attempt to derail the idea of a united opposition. It's my belief that by doing so, these parties and their leaders have damaged their own credibility. So basically, Tausif, Margaret Alva of the Congress party is saying the TMC has damaged its own credibility.
No, TMC had declared publicly, the statement was made more than a week ago, and the reasons were also given. Now, the fact that TMC abstained from participating in the vice presidential election process does not mean that the TMC has joined one camp or the other and is not with the opposition. Trinamool did vote for the presidential candidate of the opposition. It is only a protest that TMC wanted to register with the Congress party that an equal treatment should be meted out to all the members of the opposition.
Yeah.
And since the conduct of the conduct and the meeting, when the vice president candidate was chosen, was not view of a equal treatment. This decision was made. It is all very publicly, the statement was made. And this does not mean that going forward, Trinamool is not with the opposition. Ideologically, Trinamool is aligned with the opposition camp. Ideologically, Trinamool would never go side with the current NDA regime. So there is no doubt about that. This is a step to make the future more workable. This is a step in advance to send a message to the opposition camp that we need to be united in both letter and spirit, and we need to prove that with our conduct. We need consultation rather than one party informing everyone like making an announcement. That would not be acceptable.
No, it's so
this
sad
is
because
this is a step, this is a lesson that the opposition camp can come together and be united for the 2024 election, where the common plan, the common agenda is to remove the NDA government from power, dislodge the NDA government which has been there for last 10 years and which has caused damage to not only the country finance, not only the country's economy, or but also the democracy.
But Tausif, it sounds good on TV.
Currently, democracy.
No, but it sounds good on TV. But when you get the opportunity, you lose that opportunity. You say that we will come together, we will defeat Modi. I mean, every election, every chance you have, you've lost it.
Election was a president. Practically speaking, they already had the numbers. NDA already had the number. So whether TMC participates or not participates, it would have not made any difference. But
no, it would have made a difference. What are you saying? BJP alone at 394, Tausif. They are 394, just about 50%. But if opposition was really united, they would have really tried hard to bring everyone together, right? Why is it? I'll give you an example. You tell me. Why in a state like Andhra Pradesh? I'll give you an example. Both TDP and YSRCP, ideologically opposed, hate each other, but are still backing the NDA in these elections. Very interesting. I just found that interesting. Manish Bariyar, let me get Manish Bariyar. Manish, why do you think that's happening? Manish Bariyar has his own issues with the BJP. He's in alliance with the BJP. Running a government together, they have their own issues. But they will still vote with the NDA because they know that opposition doesn't stand a chance. Isn't it, Manish? Be honest.
No, it's not the case. In fact, our party has voted, in spite of being with NDA, we have voted against. So it's both ways, depending on the merit of the candidate and the political situation, obviously, at that point of time. Political parties take their own stand and they vote. But I was coming with a larger picture, Niranjan. You were talking about why opposition, your earlier question, that they are voting for NDA. Right now, opposition is in flux. In fact, as I was talking earlier, there is no opposition really in pure terms on a pan-India basis. And I see some kind of a competitive politics among political parties that they would like to emerge for 2024. And I think that is also stopping many of the parties to come together.
Like you mean like Mamata versus Rahul versus TRS?
Yeah, absolutely. TRS also, all of them want that, because there is a vacuum. There is no doubt over it. Congress party is getting weakened day after day, and the top leadership is also right now, embroiled in many of the allegations. So therefore, their concentration is to really ensure that the top leadership is taken care of. So I don't think, the other parties realize that there is a vacuum and somebody has to fill in. So you can see Aam Aadmi Party, you can see other parties also. They all, trying and kind of trying to fill that gap in. And that's something which is healthy. I don't think that it is something which is unhealthy. It happened during, when Congress was very powerful. The same thing happened. There were a number of multiple parties which had some socialist views, Communist Party of India, and you see the same vacuum at that time. And then out of that only you saw, BJP emerging out of it. I think the country is in somewhat similar kind of a situation.
Okay, let me get... Okay, yeah, Kapil. Yes, Kapil. Clearly, Rahul Gandhi can't keep the opposition together. I mean, you heard it. I mean, all opposition parties are saying that.
Niranjan, let me say one thing unequivocally. Now, which is the party who is raising the issues that matters to the general public? It is the Congress party.
All parties raise it. I saw TMC protest in Bengal. I saw TMC holding placards in Parliament.
So let me tell you, Niranjan. If you see in the past 2 years, I can tell you a number of issues where the Congress party was at the forefront, be it Pegasus, be it Rafale, be it price
none of the issues that stuck eventually, right? What are you talking about?
You may laugh. You want to trivialize.
No, I'm not trivializing. I'm saying none of it stuck. None of it stuck in Parliament. None of it stuck in court. See, Kovai will tell you. Kovai didn't any of it stick. You tell Kovai.
Everybody knows a weak opposition is not good for democracy. But who has to be blamed for a weak opposition is not the strongest India and their allies. Congress as an ally, UPA. Every ally is running a party like Dynasty, where it's spreading to the second generation or third generation food. They don't have a common ground, and every ally and their leader has got national aspiration. Say, for example, TR has a national aspiration, his leader has a national aspiration. TMC, Mamata has got a national aspiration. DMK, here in Tamil Nadu, their leader has a national aspiration. And every national aspiration is not voicing the voiceless. They have their hidden personal agenda to spread, rather than putting the nation and people first.
Absolutely.
Find all lame excuses saying that these are the agencies that are behind the BJP or NDA and suppressing the voicing false statements. Never, the people, the UPA performance has been seen by the people that it is their voice.
No, but you, Kapil, you tell me you're raising all the issues, but your leader is almost never there. Even the opposition complains about it. It's not us saying it. Mamata Banerjee has said it, that your leader is just never there. When are you raising all these issues?
Niranjan, you want to spin this false narrative.
Oh my God! There was the words of Mamata Banerjee. Didn't Mamata say it? You asked Tausif.
Niranjan,
I'm not saying it. Mamata Banerjee said it.
Entire leadership. Now let me tell you. Have you shown those images? Have you shown those visuals from yesterday?
We were live the whole day.
How the entire day they were on the road and how they were manhandled by the cops. Have you really discussed? Of course, yes. Entire day, the entire leadership was on the road, and the way they were manhandled. I mean, do you call it a democracy? I mean, this is your constitutional right to protest against the government. What wrong they were doing? And if you see the kind of response that came from Amit Shah, I think there cannot be any further low in the politics. I mean, if someone is protesting on the issues, you call them anti-nationals, and then you bring religion in between. I think this is the lowest.
No, I don't think anybody said anti-nationals. I don't know who used that term. I certainly didn't report or didn't hear of anybody using that term anti-national. I don't know where you're making up these terms.
It's there.
Who said it?
Some media houses.
Who said it?
I will forward you the reports. Some of the BJP leaders are making these allegations, and they are saying if you are wearing black, you are anti-national. I mean, what kind of politics
who said
is this?
If you're wearing black, nobody said it's anti-national. You're exaggerating. Sorry, Manish. A little bit of exaggeration. Okay.
You want to trivialize again.
Exaggeration to say it's...
My point was that I see a lack of agenda and a unified agenda in opposition. I see lack of economic agenda. Most of them are political agenda, but economic agenda, international agenda, even something like national flag. Ideally, you may you could have just supported it wholeheartedly, but there also you see differences. I think the messaging which is coming out from, I'm not talking about every opposition party, but a lot of times, unfortunately, I find from Congress, I don't know, somehow I find that it goes anti-people, right? A lot of times, I don't know who advises them and what they think, but it's something which is my personal opinion. I'm telling you that on many occasions, they just take directly opposite view of the general popular opinion of the country. Now, it is, I'm not saying that they are always wrong when they take it, but the pulse of the nation, the pulse of the people, somehow they lack it. And I feel that until unless there's some kind of a unified vision, Congress being the largest political party, comes from Congress's side. The rest of the opposition is not going to really move around Congress party. And that lack of trust and confidence in Congress party is the real reason why you see an opposition which is so, it's like frequently beaten black and blue.
Okay.
So that overall, the excitement around the opposition, around Congress and around, the principal opposition party is missing. That's what my feeling is. I don't know how you all feel, but that great excitement of, people, the electorate looking forward to 2024 for a change is something which is absolutely missing.
Okay. Tom Morakan, Manish, Kovai, Sriram, Kapil, Tausif, Abbas, thank you for joining us on the debate and the burning question. Thank you very much.